Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahweh outside, Bashim Hakodash, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And the brother Abadi are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bashim outside, Bashim Hakodash. It's going to be a relatively quick video, and in this particular edition of an in transit video, we're going to be speaking about, well, I'm going to be speaking about the Hegelian dialectics. And what we got in this on the screen here is an example of the Hegelian dialectics that the Red Hebrew Edomite uses to deceive the people. And the scripture talks about how that Esau was going to come like I believe it was like a lamb with two horns. So you've got, Labour in this country coming up against was it Labour coming up against the Tories, or I forget the names of it. But you got the two-party system. Same thing within Babylon, America. You got the two-party system, where these two parties seem to be coming up against each other. But the reality of the situation is they're fighting for the same side. Okay, and we all know that they got an agenda here, an enterprise they're trying to fulfill within a particular mind frame, within a particular time frame, Salakia, and that is the 2030 Salakia agenda, where pretty much everything's gonna go digital. Okay, right? Your cars, everything's gonna go digital. Everything's gonna go digital. The money system's gonna go digital. Everything's gonna go digital. So what you see here now, with Sunak supposedly pushing it out there to 2035, and all of these, far in the distant future numbers, don't be deceived by that. Okay, don't be deceived by that. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the play. It's all part of the deception. And it's more likely that they're going to bring these things forward than backwards. And they've got a variety of different means of bringing these things forward than backwards. Namely, they got these crises out here. One of which that's on the impending. That's another video I'm going to upload today, dealing with the coming economic doom out here within the UK, which the economy's been on life support. This is the thing about the economy. They can do whatever they want with this economy. Okay, they can do whatever they want with this economy. Okay, they can make it to where everything seems all right one day, and on the next day everything is messed up. That's how they can manipulate the numbers. Okay, this is where we're living. We're living in a society where they can manipulate the numbers so much that it's almost irrelevant what you actually see when you're watching the markets, because they can have they can justify the reasons and make it look like it's well, and it's really not well, or it really be well, and make it bad overnight, because they're the ones that are in control of the economy, right? Didn't one of the Rothschild babies, didn't he say, I don't want control over the I don't need control over the people, just give me control over the money, because they understand whoever controls the money is the person that's really in charge. Okay, so that's the money thing. That thing has pretty much been on a fine line towards crashing for the longest time, and they can use any small crisis in order to push that over the edge. Namely, out here within the UK, they're talking about a recession, right? Much like the 2008 recession, or businesses going under at the rate of the 2008. Going to show you the C19 thing was a catalyst towards the CHIP in many ways. Okay, a lot of these digital systems were put in place with the C19 thing. Indeed, it was a crowning effort, right? It was a crowning effort towards their enterprise. Indeed, it was. But let's take a look at this. So what they understand is, and it took me a while to really take a grasp and take a hold of all of these particular things, right? But the elder out here, he had to break it down to me. And he said it simply, right? He said, look, all of these systems that they're going to put together with the electric cars and, the digital systems here, the plans towards it was always supposed to fail. Okay? You think about the move towards so-called green energy, and you think about the means by which they want to go and achieve that, right? With the heat pumps out here within the UK, the solar panels, what else they want to use, right? The nuclear energy. A lot of these plans, when you really go into them, they don't make no sense. And that's by design. Okay? That's by design. And so when they bring forth these crises, and when they bring forth these situations, these so-called natural disaster, which Esau uses a system called HARP, where they manipulate the elements in order for them to have particular so-called natural disasters, man. That's what Esau does. So they're gonna manipulate, and they will manipulate, whether it be the Mossad that does it, or whether it be the Mossad through Esau that does it. Esau is gonna either twist the scenario, or they're actually gonna create a situation where you got all kind of different disasters, and they're gonna use that and say, look, we gotta do something about it, and we're gonna do it with immediate effect. You see? And all of these plans that were so-called came together, like this so-called 2030 thing, and they're saying he's taking a U-turn. He ain't taking a U-turn, man. This is all part of the game. This is all part of the Hegelian dialectics. This is all part of the deception. You actually thinking that they're actually trying to make it easy for you. They ain't trying to make it easy for you. The problem is, if they had you believe, right, they was coming down hard, then the people will rebel. And the scriptures does speak about sedition amongst the people. And you see certain people out there within London taking down the ULEZ cameras and all of that, right? You see particular people out there within, all over the world right now. They're showing you that they're very seditious, right? They civil unrest out here because what? Because things are coming down to the wire. People out here that was paying £400-500 on their mortgage, and all of a sudden they're gonna pay £1,200 on their mortgage. They're being seditious, right? But it's spread out. So one person might get hit with a taxes, another person might get hit with a ULEZ thing. Another person might lose their house. So each person is experiencing their own hell, right? But in a different way. Because Esau's coming down having great wrath right now, but you see these politicians and they're so-called looking to win the race by extending the so-called 2030 thing to 2035. It's like, brother, no, that's not the plan, bro. That's not the plan. We know from Davos, we know from all of these elite meetings that they have, that this thing is gonna come. And what did the guy say from Davos? I forget the guy's name. He said we gotta move swiftly. He didn't say we gotta take time, right? He didn't say we gotta make it comfortable and economically viable for everybody. And that's an important key piece to understand. And that's what I was trying to say by what the elder said to me. These plans was always gonna fail. These plans was always gonna fail. But the agenda was going to remain the same way if they was going to move with swiftness towards the CHIP MOTB system, to where they might have, let's say, 1,000 electric cars within the city, and Sunak is so-called extending out the electric car thing to 2035. But guess what? Overnight, they could shut down the system, and then you're going to find out nobody was meant to have a car. Nobody was meant to. See, these plans, they don't work. Why? Why do these plans not work? Because you wasn't supposed to have. These situations wasn't supposed to work out. Why? Because they wasn't supposed to work out with the express intent and understanding that you got to understand is this. They wasn't supposed to work out. Namely, the energy thing, the car thing, the money thing, all the aspects of this MOTB system. Because you're supposed to be in a desperate situation, and I'm going to quote it like how they said it, owning nothing and supposedly happy with it. So they could extend this out to the year 3000, but come a year from now, 2 years from now, when they get a good crisis in and they implement the CHIP, you're going to understand the agenda was always the same. You're supposed to have nothing and be happy with it. You're supposed to have nothing and be happy with it. Okay? It's not about your immigration to these new technologies. It's not about how financially viable it is for you. It's not about Sunak trying to win a race, or Biden or Trump trying to win a political race. It's about you having nothing and being happy with it. And that's why these systems that they're gonna, and these plans that they're gonna put in place, are seemingly gonna fail. But that's because that's part of the theatrics. That's all part of the game. That's all part of the theater. But in the end, when all is said and done, you're gonna own nothing. You're gonna be happy with it. You ain't gonna have a car. You're gonna rent one. That's why it doesn't have to work. You don't have to. What you need an electric car for? What do you need to buy an electric car for? You're going to be renting one. That's all part of the plan. So when you see these plans, man, you got to just realize, man, okay, or you see these particular things happen within politics and it seems like these politicians are for you. It's all part of the theater. It's all part of the game. When it's all said and done, you're going to own nothing and you're supposed to be happy with it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say, oh, praise unto Yahbashim Asai Bashim Ukah HaKudash. Right? Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Right, and honestly, brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity, man. We ain't ignorant to Satan's devices, man. We see these plans of the enterprise of the wicked, man. Because we understand the enterprise of the wicked, we can see right through the BS. Okay, we can see through the madness and come to the conclusion that this is all theater. right? This all of these politicians, it's all theater because the agenda remains the same, man. Owning nothing and being happy with it. With that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahbashim, Ashai Bashim, Hakodash, double honors unto the apostles of great millstone. Honest, your brothers, they be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.